Yes, Dinesh ji. Whenever you are ready, we can start. We are very much looking forward for the second Wednesday wisdom sharing session from you.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to start off with a couple of quotations before we start our meditation. The first quotation is from a master, Master Samuel Onvior. We must experience the truth in a direct, practical, and real way. This is only possible in the stillness and silence of the mind. And this is achieved by means of meditation. The second quote is from Master J. Donald Walters. He says, the more regularly and the more deeply you meditate, the sooner you will find yourself acting always from a center of peace. We'll now start our meditation. We are going to do Anapanasati meditation. Please take a very comfortable position and relax your body. Close your eyes, cross your legs, clasp your hands, fingers into fingers. We're going to do a very short mental exercise before we start meditation. In our mind, let us leave everything about our past outside the room that we are sitting in. This includes everything that we have done to date, what we have studied, what we have achieved. Let's leave all the past baggage outside. Let us leave all thoughts we have about our future outside as well. We do not know what it will be. Let us not hold on to any ideas about the past or the future. Let us also leave the ideas about ourselves, our identities outside. We can take it back after we finish today's session. Let us become empty for this session. Once we have left everything outside, we still remain. The being still remains. This is the pure being. We start our meditation. Please begin to breathe naturally in and out. Do not control your breathing in any way. Let it be natural. Be aware of your breath as it goes in. You may now open your eyes. Thank you all. Hope you had a nice, deep meditation. I will take the opportunity to continue sharing the wisdom and my experiences of 14 years of sannyas. Last week, we had looked at 4 types of words of wisdom. One of the types is punitive, where if you do this, if you steal, etc., you will end up in hell. The second type were appetizing. If you take the name of God, if you do Ekadashi, if you do Navratri, you will go to God's abode. The third type were circumstantial. These are for the benefit of society. And the fourth type were words of wisdom, which are the principles, meaning Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi. So for us to know, the first 3 are not that important. We should focus on the principles which lead us to our emancipation, enlightenment, or awakening. It is compared to the ants in a ton of sand. There is just a spoonful of sugar. The ants will find that sugar. So we are listening to a lot of things. It is important for us to focus on the words of wisdom which relate to principles. During my 14 years of sadhu, there were two awakened sadhus who really helped me bring clarity about true spirituality. It was one of them who we always used to have a late night discourse daily. And after the discourse finished, I went to his room and sat beside his bed. He was lying down. I asked him a few questions. The first question I asked him is, when did you become awakened? And he said, soon after meeting my guru. Then he explained, if you have a well in India, there are a lot of wells, especially in the villages where even today, some villages don't have other sources of water, so they use the well. If you have a deep well which hasn't been used and there is thousands of years of darkness in it, and you light a candle, the darkness disappears. It is as if the darkness was never there. So then he said, when you become awakened, you realize that you were never in bondage. You realize that you've always been free. He then narrated a very short story. He said there was a farmer with his family living in a small village. They used to live in a small house. The farmer always complained about darkness succeeding in coming into his house. And then he has to light lamps, etc. One day he decided that he didn't want darkness to enter the house. So he told his sons that we will not let darkness enter our house today. We will fight the darkness. So he asked his sons to take some sticks. And as soon as it was dusk time and it started to get dark, they flung the sticks in such a manner as if they were fighting darkness and trying to get it out of the house. In the process, a lot of the belongings got damaged. They continued doing this till dawn. As soon as light entered the house, they said they have succeeded in fighting darkness. Little did he realize that his efforts were totally futile. What is darkness? Darkness is not an element or an entity. Darkness is absence of light. He then guided me, said, do not fight the darkness. That is, fight with the mind or fight with Maya. Believe that you are Atman, you are Brahman. Let the light shine by doing meditation. Then I asked him another question. I said, what is your experience? Then he quoted Taittiriya Upanishad. He said, Yato vacho nirvartante aprapya manasasaha. He said the enlightened state, the awakened state, is something where thoughts cannot reach and words cannot describe. It is well narrated by Philip Kepler in Zen Dawn in the West, where he says, awakening and the realization then that one does not achieve anything one did not already have is so simple and obvious that it is only natural to feel that there must be something further still. Enlightenment evokes the strongest feelings of intimacy. Realization of Buddha nature is the realization of the kinship of all forms of life. These feelings are beyond words. If there is a secret involved, it is an open secret known by everyone in his heart of hearts. but forgotten or lost in the hurly-burly of the ego-dominated thinking and feeling. The enlightened state is not extraordinary or dazzling, but natural, simple, and ordinary in its essence. Another master, Rupert Spira, says, if you expect enlightenment to be extraordinary or dazzling, you will be disappointed. It is described well by Eckhart Tolle as the direct experience of pure being. Being can be felt as the ever-present I am, that is beyond name and form. To feel and thus to know that you are and to abide in that deeply rooted state is enlightenment. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. If there's anyone who wants to share their experiences or ask any questions, please feel free to do so.
Namaste, Dinesh ji.
Namaste.
So it is beautiful how everything is being shared. It is as if there is nothing to be done in order to attain enlightenment. You know, that story which you have shared was beautiful. You know, do not. I mean, it's of no need to fight darkness, which means it is of no need to fight things that we are experiencing. It is just about connect to that light within us, and that's it.
Yes.
And then many times we also have or fall behind understanding what means enlightenment. Please explain what it feels like having enlightenment. So again, you said this wonderful statement that says, yes, that cannot be, that is where thoughts cannot reach and words cannot explain those states. So, it is more than what you shared. It is your energy that touches me. Just being in your, the energy flow that comes is so very beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, masters, feel free. You can unmute yourself or you can write in the chat. Better, you can unmute and talk to Master Dinesh. Go ahead.
Thank you, Dinesh ji. Thank you. The music was so blissful. It took me to a different state. And the way you explain in such simple terms, like how Ramji said, yes, we are all aware, I think deep in our hearts, what enlightenment is, and there's no need to search for it. Just like you said, darkness is absence of light. So obviously, so this, I think non-duality is what we are all getting into, right? There is all, we say Dvaita. I think that's what it all means when we see absence and of what's just like happiness. I guess absence of happiness makes you sad. Absence of life is death. I don't know. Everything can be seen that way, maybe. Just my thought. But I like the way you explained. Thank you very much.
Yes, we have Madhavi. Yeah, you can go ahead and mute yourself.
Namaskaram, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, once again. And it was a wonderful, wonderful session. And the meditation was so deep, so deep. I could see my mom and dad again. Yeah. And one question I had in myself, say, when you said that don't need to fight with the darkness, you have to lead yourself. Can you enlighten with how do we lead ourselves inside?
I'll start with a story. Story will be, I think, will probably explain everything properly.
Yeah, sure. I'm ready to listen to it.
There were two ladies, and in in one village, there was a Vaid. In India, we have the Ayurvedic doctors, they're called Vaids. So there was a Vaid, and everybody used to go to that Vaid for their problems. And somehow or the other, the Vaid had only one solution. He used to give a small packet of some churna, of powder, and ask them to take that churna. And that churna was haritaki, herde, so it was a laxative. So he says all illnesses are born because of constipation. If a person is constipated, then the body gets hundreds of illnesses. So he used to give the same churna to everyone that came to him. And then one day what happened was, there were two villages. So the other village, then sort of the king decided to go to battle with this village. The village of this king was very frightened, and he said, what will I do? He did not have any, his army was smaller, and he felt that he will lose the battle and his village will go. Then he thought that he should go to this Vaid and find out what he can do. So this Vaid said, he said, how many soldiers are there? So there are a few hundred soldiers. So he gave a few hundred packets of herde to the messenger. He said, somehow or the other, go to the enemy lines, and once you've given that herde to them, tell them that this churna will give them strength to fight powerfully tomorrow, and you will win. So somehow or the other, the messenger infiltrated the other village's army, gave that packet of herde to everyone, and they took it. And unfortunately, the battle starts at 6 o'clock. And at 6 o'clock, unfortunately, all of them had to go to the loo. So this king actually then won the battle. So however we look at it, whatever solutions we are looking for, the answer, unfortunately, is just going to be meditate, meditate, meditate.
Thank you so much for a wonderful explanation. Actually, it was a very nice meditation and your experience here. It's really glad. Yeah, thank you.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. I think there are no more questions. So thank you all, and see you tomorrow in the morning.
Maybe Dineshji,
Go on.
if your time permits, one
Yeah.
more sharing, one more story, one more wisdom. Yes, we don't want to wait for another Wednesday to come to see you and hear you.
Yes, that's for sure. Yes, Dinesh ji.
So the second question that I had asked, the respected guru that sort of, helped me. So I said, what happened to you, when you became enlightened? So the words he used was, I became Krishna Roop. I became one with everyone. So if you look at it from a perspective of, he is a very senior sadhu in a bhakti organization. So it is a bhakti organization. So, there you have God and devotee as always being separate. So you can never use the words, I became, Krishna Roop. But, that is the experience that one gets. So when one is enlightened, all the barriers between devotee and God and everything, all the other barriers between the self and the world and the universe all actually break down. So, he was and is obviously still alive, a very, very, very respected, a very, very, enlightened soul. So his guidance was, just continue doing meditation. Things will automatically happen. Do not expect a miracle. Do not expect a big glow of light. Just expect that everything will just work out.
Beautiful, beautiful. You keep giving us the same churna in the end, that which the Vaidya had given. So
Unfortunately, that is the easiest solution to all issues. We have a lot of issues, we try looking for different solutions, and we may need them in the short term, but they are not permanent solutions. The only permanent solution to all ills, sab dardo ki ek dawa. It is just one medicine for all ills, and that is dhyanam.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Absolutely
We have Mridula ji.
wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, we have Mridula ji. Yes, Mridula ji. Kindly go ahead.
Hi, Dinesh.
Hi.
Good afternoon, or is it evening for you all? But no, I just thought of something when you were sharing. So I'm going to share something of my childhood.
Very good. Yes.
When I was younger, I never felt like I didn't feel loss. You know, I never felt lost if somebody left. I always felt like I always was connected to them. And the person I was really close to, the person that raised me, is my grandmother until I was 6, and then I came here to the United States. So she was with me when I came to India for medical school for 5 years, and then she's in her 90s that time, and she came to the airport to say goodbye. I knew I would not see her again physically.
Mm-hmm.
I held her, but there was something in her too that knew that we would not be separate from each other. Even though I was leaving her, even though I knew in my heart I would physically never see her again, I did not feel her loss. I don't know. I thought for a long time, it's so strange. I don't feel the loss of anyone passing on. I've always, since I was a little girl, I felt connected to people, and I never felt the people I'm connected to are going to leave. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, you are.
So when my grandmother actually passed, she passed actually on my birthday, after I came back in my first year of residency, and I felt peace. I felt her presence. I knew actually when she passed, even before my mother called and told me. Again, I didn't feel the loss. My mother is like, how come you're not crying? How come you're not? I'm like, I don't know. I know that she's not gone. And she's like, but she's gone. So I'm just thinking, we're talking about enlightenment and all this. I always thought since I was little, the answer is inside me.
Yes.
I never thought that it's somewhere else. I just knew it. So, but when I came to the PSSM and meditation, it just verified, it just made it. And then there were all people that also knew this, knew that there's no loss, that every answer is within us, and that it's always in the meditation. But I didn't know about meditation. When you're little, growing up, and I was so busy studying and becoming doctor, and I wasn't intimate. I was searching why I'm this way, why I always feel like the answer is always within me. I never counted on another person for an answer. I still don't. And so I feel like I don't have the attachment that people do, and I always felt that was abnormal. Until I came to the meditation, I realized that's perfectly normal, and that the answer is within us. So you open when you travel. That's why I'm just curious, what were the lessons? What did you learn? Because I feel like, I don't know, I keep repeating, but I feel like it's always within us, Dinesh ji. There's nothing outside us. Always the answers are within us. And somehow we have to be kind of strong inside and realize that, I think only meditation can give us that strength, But I was born that way, so I don't know, So it was kind of strange for other people when they saw me not reacting and doing the things that other people do. But when I came to PSSM, the meditation gave me a stronghold and felt like, so I'm not wrong, in thinking that way.
So it's a beautiful sharing that you've done, and most likely in the previous birth you've done a lot of meditation, and you already were, sort of looking for answers only within, and that is why, it is a beautiful state, and it's really very good.
But I don't feel that enlightenment, like people use that word. I just feel like I'm okay. I'm good. I don't feel like the light didn't come, that wow didn't come. It was always with me. There's no, am I making sense, Dinesh ji?
No, you are, which is in one way very good. And all we need to do is continue meditating. In the morning, I think Ram mentioned an aha moment. I've never had an aha moment. So it is just I think we just need to continue meditating, and we will all experience peace. I'm sure that everyone who is meditating, their stress levels have come down, their anxiety is coming down, and a lot of benefits everyone is already achieving. And it will just happen, like Eckhart Tolle, it happened overnight. He was very depressed, and then suddenly, the realization just dawned on him, and then remaining in the present is what he's sort of telling us to do. Not looking for some other entity externally who is controlling everything and from whom we may get some peace or happiness. Sumathi ji, if you want to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Dinesh ji. Thank you for a very deep meditation. And to all the masters who've asked the questions and your wisdom, Dinesh ji. I raised this question the last time.
Okay.
So question 1 is, do you eat onion and garlic? And question 2 is, as we know, it's the Mahalaya Pitru celebration now.
Yes.
What is your opinion on that? Because I'll be honest, my mom passed away in 2019, July, and my brother passed away in March. And I dived into meditation, since January this year. Indeed, I have been exposed to meditation a few years back, but it was just a very short period, and I never really dived into it. So I've had the opportunity since January, and strange enough, this ritual that is going on, and even my father practiced it and my brother practiced it, but it did not rekindle anything to me. And even amongst the Chinese community, they have the Chap Gourmet to say it's the 15th day where the soul is in the earth. Now, I obviously, when I've come into this realm of meditation, I just feel totally connected. But I would like your wisdom on this, please. Thank you.
So this is obviously my sort of point of view. Regarding onions and garlic, if obviously one doesn't eat them, then it is better because it brings the sort of vibrations down. It will help with meditation. So that is sort of my point of view. However, as I said, focusing on meditation is more important. Sometimes people have some circumstances where they, living in a family, it may be difficult or awkward. So, depending on circumstances, however, onions and garlic, they would, if one doesn't eat them, then they would help with our sadhana, with our meditation. Regarding, the rituals that we do for the deceased, these are rituals which have always been done in our tradition. So we also do the rituals for us, for our parents and grandparents. From a very knowledge-based perspective, as Krishna has said in Gita, second chapter, the Atma is never born and it never dies. The Atma is not wet by water. It is not burnt by fire. It cannot be cut by a knife. So, the Atma has always been. So from that perspective, these rituals seem a little meaningless. However, we've kept up the tradition. Even we follow the tradition. Not necessarily that it is just it's something that we follow but from a point of view of pure knowledge, it would appear that the rituals have less meaning once one realizes the knowledge about Atman.
Thank you, Ji. One last question.
Sure.
What do you, the Hindus also believe that when someone passes away,
yes,
they tend not to celebrate their respective, festival, i.e.
yes,
like Diwali, etc.
Correct. That is what we do. Yes.
So is it to mark
yes
the
passing away
absence and that you're missed,
yes,
and you want to be in that in a festive period, in that happiness? Is that
it would be completely inappropriate for anyone to be in a festive mood when someone close has passed away.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ram, anything further?
Well, so thank you for accepting and extending with a little bit of sharing, Dineshji. So very grateful to you. I really love these sessions. Your energy I love. So thank you. And thanks to each of the participant here, each master here, for being here together and being part of these beautiful sharings. Yeah. So thank you again. And we connect back next week, the same time. And friends, we will meet back on the same platform tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. for the breath and meditation session. Till then, I wish you all great time. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.